Stories are Camels' Backs. My name is Osadumebe, and every week I usually tell you a short story written by a Nigerian writer or author. But this is series week, where I tell you a story over the course of 2 to 7 consecutive days. Basically, however long it takes to complete the story. Series week will occur once a quarter, and the stories featured will still be written by Nigerian writers and authors, but will either consist of a sequence of related episodes from one story or a set of stories linked by a common theme. That's the long and short of it. So without much ado, today's story is by Chisom Nsiegbunam, and it is the second part of the story titled The Bill. Catch up on yesterday's episode for part 1 and listen in tomorrow for the third and final part. You walk into the hospital, to the maternity ward, to your wife and daughter who are ready to be discharged. Your wife is happy to see you. You see the joy of a mother when she stares at her child. But you don't miss that hint of dismay and disappointment hiding in her pupils. When you both found out the sex of the baby, the first thing she said was, "The Lord who changed water to wine can change the sex of my baby." It is not that you don't believe in God or miracles, but you know BS when you hear it. Seeing your baby wearing an overall with "Mommy's boy" weaved on it with soft wool is hilarious. Oh, her faith is so pure. It is one of the many things that made you marry her. The purity of her heart and her doggedness.
I will make the Forbes list with just the bride price of 2, talk more of 4.
You say, trying to lighten any guilt she might be carrying.
Billionaires are better be ready. Just nego do. See how beautiful she looks. Just like you.
And when she smiles and gently pushes you away, you say,
Thank you. Thank you for giving me a 4th bunny.
And you kiss her forehead. I will go back to teaching. It will help, she says. Initially, it was your idea for your wife to stay home and look after the girls. As a real man, it felt wrong for your wife to work under another man, so you told her to stay home and take care of the kids. But the economy does not support your real man mindset anymore. We will be fine. Ogadizima. You reply, planting a subtle kiss on her forehead and going on to play with your newest princess. After a while, you saunter to the accounts unit to pay the bills. The burdens of your money worries swooping down on you so heavy that they push you towards earth. You cannot help but remember the very obvious "pay me my rent" undertone in your landlord's rant this morning. When you greeted him, he asked you what was good about the morning and about Nigeria. You are still wondering what to tell your sales girl who has been complaining about how the price of everything has skyrocketed and is asking for a raise in her salary, when the nurse gave you a piece of paper with your bill on it. Your temperature flares up, your limbs turn weak, and your head spins. Softly, you ask to be sure.
Is this our bill?
You try begging on your knees like you did when the owner of your store in Main Market Onitsha increased your rent from 400,000 naira to 1.2 million naira. Then, the begging was fruitful since he slashed it to 800,000 naira due in 5 months. Here, the kind nurse supports you up, and the doctor says there is nothing she can do and walks away. The kind nurse offers a solution. Your wife and baby can move to the old hospital building and wait for donations from charities. He explains that a good Samaritan could decide to foot the bill when a charity organization visits. He tells you of the many patients whose bills were paid off just the previous week and encourages you to be strong and have faith.
Charity.
You ask yourself, the same one you did last year when you fed beggars on the streets and went to orphanage homes with gifts on your birthday. In 1 year, you went from being the good Samaritan to becoming the beggar. You chuckle as tears gather in your eyes because you could not miss the humor in your change of identity.
Charity. Charity.
You mumble. You promise your wife you will figure something out as she carries the baby to the room allocated to them in the old hospital building. Awaiting payment. The sign on the door reads, "The dust in the room makes your baby cough." And your wife tells you to wait outside. You watch the torn window nets with disbelief and imagine your newborn with red mosquito bites in the morning. The bed looks okay, but your wife says it needs cleansing with Dettol. The wobbling ceiling fan welcomes you all with its music, and you visualize it falling before day breaks.
I will find a way around this. You two cannot spend the night here. You can't. See, it is only 250,000 naira remaining. I will find a way.
You assure your wife. She gave birth through a cesarean section, and she has been in the hospital for the past week. You can see the tiredness that wanes her. But you have no words to express how your heart feels heavy as the thought of everything makes your blood congeal. So you let yourself find warmth in her embrace. The money you have with you was meant to settle their bills, pay for some of the fees, and get a few foodstuff. But now, he cannot even handle the bills. A nurse comes in to help them clean and settle in. You hold your new princess in your arms. Her beauty and innocence enrapture you. Your heart aches, knowing she does not deserve the suffering she has been born into. You kiss them goodbye and leave. Chisom Nsiegbunam is a writer who resides in Onitsha, Anambra State. She is an environmental health science student at NAU and an alumna of the Idembeka Creative Writing Workshop 2024, Spring NG Writing Fellowship 2023, and KAP Film and Television Academy 2022. You can read more of her works in Obuali, Uonia Review, April Center, African Writer Magazine, Spill Words, Afritondo, Brittle Paper, Kalahari Review, Punocracy, Ayo Magazine, Writers Space Africa. Connect with Chisom on X at SomBenedicta, on Instagram at chisombenedicta.n, and on Facebook at Chisom Nsiegbunam. Details and links will be in the episode description. If you've got a story you would like to be featured on this podcast, or a published book you want to make into an audiobook, send an email to info@osadumebi.com or send me a message at Osadumebi on either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or X. I look forward to collaborating with you. And if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell someone, everyone, that stories are a good escape for a few minutes each week.